everyone. I hope you guys are doing great on this weekend. I just quickly wanted to come up and so a very dear friend of mine, Sachi, and I, we were talking yesterday, and we were just about her new course, which is like a fifth dimensional Akashic, learning to read your own Akashic recordings. And so we decided to just pop in and do this live and address a lot of questions that have been coming up about the fifth dimension, frequencies, codes, etc. So let me just allow her to join. Just a second, as usual, I've. Hold on. There you go. Hi, Sachi.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Every live I come, I have to relearn how to just add someone. I
Yeah,
don't know why.
I still don't know how to do it. I haven't done lives in so long. Apart from two this week, I'm like, what's going on?
No, I feel like when I was actually seeing your live, I got this idea, right? Because
Yeah,
we keep getting asked these questions about what is
yeah,
fifth
yeah.
dimension, new earth, code, frequency. So we were like, alive is the best way to just interact with everyone and just get everyone on the same page.
I just pulled a card. Okay.
What is the
It,
chamber
it
of
says Chamber
violet
of the
flame?
Violet Flame, Karmic Release, Radical Transformation.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, what a
So
beautiful
I think
card.
that's the potency for the vibe, like that for the live. That's the vibe we are setting for this live.
Absolutely. I think what this card is wanting me to also start with speaking about is the dimensions. Hi
Hi,
Priya,
Priya.
thank you.
Yeah, I think we should have had Priya, so just jump in and say hi.
Yeah. So what's coming to me to start, I think, speaking about is the different dimensions, right? And
Right,
what is 3D, what is 5D, and
right,
also you have this course which is coming up, which is a fifth dimension Akashic. So,
right,
let's talk about how is it different from a normal Akashic as well.
right,
So, if I may start to just kind of few lines on dimensions are basically not physical spaces, but they're more
yeah,
like bands of frequencies, right?
right,
So
right,
everything just is happening in this place right now. There is no time or space which is separate
right,
from now. In
right,
this very time and space, there are different levels or bands of frequencies,
right,
and a higher frequency is simply just vibrating faster than a lower frequency.
right,
And all of us are actually existing in all 12 levels. So there are
right,
12 known levels in
yeah,
our universe,
yeah,
dimensions, and we are already existing, right?
yeah,
But the reality we are experiencing is based on where our consciousness is currently
right,
vibrating at,
right,
right? So
right,
when we are speaking about 5D or fifth dimension, we are speaking that you actually increase your vibrancy or frequency to reach that state of being, that emotional state of being. And
right,
5D or fifth dimension has the qualities of joy, abundance, health,
right,
freedom. These are the pillars or
yeah,
emotional states where you would experience yourself all the
yeah,
time, a lot of oneness.
absolutely, yeah,
So I just wanted to quickly, bring everyone on the same page as to this is what we mean by fifth dimension. So I
yeah.
think Sachi, if you want to pop in and say that, for example, how would a fifth dimension Akashic be different from a third dimensional when you're teaching someone?
Right. So to be honest, I'm not gonna. I don't know how will it be different, but I'll just tell you in my
Yeah.
experience, right? Because I did not learn 5D Akashic. I kind of, created this program with like my all my learnings in the past 2 years, right? So basically, the way I see it when I learned Akashic, it was all about like karmic contracts, soul contracts, karmic relationships. All that thing that makes us feel like we do not have the power or the choice to control our life. Hey, if I am in this karmic relationship, that means it's destined to be. The pain that I feel is destined to be. The emotions that I feel is destined to be. This is my karma, so to say, right? Now, what happens in 5D Akashic or, anywhere you go above the 5D, above the 4D density dimension, right? We kind of collapse and bend time and space. What this means is that, okay, this is my karma. This is the way I can move around it. This is the way I can heal it. I can release it. And I can also have this relationship that can be for my highest good. So you are not sitting there as a powerless human. You are sitting there as an empowered soul who understands, okay, this is the lesson that I need to learn from here. This is how I can learn it. This is how I can quicken my learning, and I can move to the other side either with this person, with this relationship, with this contract, or without. We
Absolutely.
have choices. A lot of time people feel like, okay, if this is my karma, that means I'm powerless. That means I do not have the choice and I have to just stick by this. But in 5D or anything, when we talk about raising your frequency, you move away from feeling like this is where you have to go to like, I
Sachi, I think you're stuck. Or is it me? Okay. Let's just hold on and see. You're experiencing a network issue. She got stuck in. Yeah, this happens. Actually, this happens very often when we start to vibrate at a way higher frequency. Somehow, the network and the electricity always tends to go haywire. So I'm sure Sachi will join us back. And in the meanwhile, I want to just give an example. The way Sachi was explaining, that difference, she was talking it via the example of karma. I think I've experienced in my life through astrology, right? Because growing up, my family loved going to astrologers. And I felt that there are some astrologers who are so stuck in the 3D, like they and their own vibrations are a little bit lower. So you will see there are some who will always try to scare you, always Shani is bhari and some panoti is happening and stuff like that. That is, when you go to them, you come back feeling like, just a second, Sachi's entering again. Hold on, I'm so sorry. There you go.
I don't know what happened. It's like
There was
froze.
a person, Urban Monk, who said you reached 10D, which is probably true, you did. So,
Yeah, so I was just basically saying that, a lot of times when people come to me, they believe that this is their life, right?
yeah,
They believe that you don't have choices. Oh, will I get this job, right? You always have the choices available to you.
yeah,
Even though you are in human form, we do. We can go to 5D even in human form. You do not have to like sit on the mountain and become a sage, right? It
yeah.
can really happen in the physical body with all things materialistic as well.
Yeah.
But it's how you look at it. Are you looking at it from an empowered space, or are you looking at it like this is the circumstance of my life and I am kind of boxed into this?
Absolutely, absolutely. So actually, when you had gotten off, I was
Yeah.
speaking about a example with astrology. What I have experienced, this whole shift of frequencies has been through the modality of astrology a lot. I feel like I was just saying that in childhood, like a lot of we would go to a lot of astrologers,
Yeah.
all the time, and a lot of them would kind of keep you in this fear, this panic. Oh God, something is bad is coming up.
Yeah.
Time kharab chal raha hai wala vibe. And then there are some astrologers who make you feel empowered, right?
Yeah.
Because they themselves are at that frequency. So in fact, one of my biggest understanding of what is codes and how you unlock them is when I decided to learn astrology.
Yeah.
Despite a lot of negative associations that I had, somehow I was being intuitively guided to learn astrology from this one person, which who I follow a lot, and I was like, wow, I want to make her as my mentor in this modality,
Yeah.
And it was a very high investment course, and on intuition I
Yeah.
just joined it, right?
Yeah.
And for me, and how we are used to people who are charging a lot of high energy exchange, you think there's going to be a whole system, there's going to be a lot of information coming your way, especially for these kind of subjects.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this woman was completely like on intuition. Like she would
Wow.
just start the lecture without too many notes, just as it came. And for me, it was like, first, it was triggering that, okay, what
Yeah.
have I paid for?
Yeah.
And then I started understanding that my own intuition is also guiding me. My energy updates started
Yeah.
coming in strongly.
Yeah.
That's when I truly experienced this phenomena that when you are having an energy exchange with another soul who's already vibrating at that level, literally
Right.
you start to mirror and remember
Yeah.
your own goals. And that is
Yeah.
what we mean by when you're learning with a mentor who has done these things,
Yeah.
experienced, walked this way before you.
Yeah.
They literally become a way shower.
Right.
They hold those frequencies, and that's why you are being called to learn with them, right? So,
Absolutely.
learning just for information is one level, how we have
Yeah.
been formally educated. But what we
Yeah.
are talking about now, and I think more and more people who are
Yeah.
awakened, who are
Yeah.
intuitively, by their inner guidance, being guided to learn these things, which, with such people,
Right.
it literally brings up so much remembrance. Like for me personally, I felt a lot of my previous life codes were unlocked, right?
Right.
What came to me was she's unlocking my remembrances from Atlantis,
Wow.
from a time where I was a part of these kind of modalities,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
naturally started happening, right? And also, it's not
Right.
overnight.
Right.
I think I would like to give that disclaimer because people feel
Right.
like it could be
Yeah.
overnight, my life will
Yeah.
change when I do a course. But it is a it is a cyclical
Yeah.
thing, right? The codes
Yeah.
are unlocked, whatever is in you, which still needs to
Yeah.
get released, you have the responsibility to release it. But the
Yeah.
other side of that is pure magic.
Yeah.
And I think I can vouch that, with you, I have done collabs, I've even learned from you.
Right.
So I think that has been my experience with you, Sachi, especially when it comes to abundance, when it comes to holding space for a lot of people. I feel you have healed that in you a lot. And so I
Right.
feel anyone who will come to you or is attracted to learn from you will probably unlock those codes. It may not look the same way like it has
Right.
looked for you, but
Right.
that code will invoke that remembrance. This is what I feel.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, yeah, I have a very similar story to share. So, last year, I signed up with my mentor activations with JJ for a multidimensional soul integration practitioner course. And I didn't know what the course was about, right? I genuinely signed up one day late and I did not know what am I going to learn through this modality. Okay. And for the longest time, I actually started following her fairly recently. So it's not that I've been following this mentor. I wanted to work with her. Nothing. It literally like came into my life, and I literally signed up with her. Before I was working with JJ, I was doing a lot of like one-on-one sessions. I was doing a lot of just like readings and sessions, right? With her, I unlocked this initiation into 5D. I unlocked this initiation into because it's a 5D modality what she's teaching, right? I unlocked this initiation into like Lemuria, Atlantis, star seeds. Literally all this information started coming forward. Abundance. I felt like I did so much of release and integration work, not through the course, but beyond the course as well. Like this full year has been about that. And when we speak about abundance, and we are going to talk about now just 3D abundance, I feel like the glass ceilings that I was able to uh, you know crash through in this year have been surprising me. And all of this again does not just come. I do not give my power away only to the course or only to my mentor. Like now you are responsible for this, because yes, while she is sharing her energy, while she is sharing her activation, she is sharing her knowledge, her resources, I am also using that to create my potency. And this again comes from the 3D systems of education and what education should look like. In our 3D world, in traditional schools, education is supposed to look like they teach, we learn, we receive, and we literally write those answers, right? It's literally like, the rote method. And when we talk about higher education, it's so much like, what is the tangibility of this? Like, what will I receive from this? And if we make decisions, especially intuitive decisions, only by what am I getting out of this, just purely a pure tangible area, um, we are not going to unlock the complete power of it.
Yes.
Because some decisions are into, as you said, when you signed up for the astrology course, when I signed up for that course, we decided that something is working for us. we told ourselves, okay, we don't know what we're going to receive, we don't know what is going to happen, but we will take a chance on ourselves, because the empowered individual, the empowered higher self came through.
Yeah.
I did not have that money to invest in the course at that time. I pushed my limit. You also made a big investment by pushing your limit. We are constantly pushing our limits and inviting more parts of ourselves and telling those parts, our 3D parts, it's safe for you to be seen. It's safe for you to share yourself. It's safe for you to like receive, because receivership is also such a deep wound that goes into especially women in India. Receivership is something that's so deeply tied to women in India. And I think it's all about really taking the action, understanding that it all does not need to make sense. A lot of people, like even for the course, ask me, how will you teach so much in 5 weeks? Right? It's not about so much in 5 weeks, right? It's not like I'm giving you pages and pages of notes and asking you to
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, something is up. Your voice has gone, Sachi. Yeah, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Technology is really playing
Oh,
havoc. Yeah, yeah, there you
oh
go.
God, I was just like, what's happening
I think we're in
today?
between frequencies. I really feel that.
I am just like, what's happening today? Just went live, it all worked fine. But
Yeah.
yeah, what was I talking?
So
I think
you
I
were
think I'm
basically
done.
talking about
Yeah,
receiving in the
yeah,
fight, learning to receive, right? And I feel,
yeah,
when you were speaking, I really want to speak about this one thing. Again, circling back to my astrology course. So the way I use astrology is not the way my mentor uses it at all. I don't do reading astrology charts, right?
yeah,
But when I unlocked my remembrance of astrology, for me, what started coming was energy updates.
yeah,
Looking at the macro level astrology
yeah,
more than the collective level. For me,
yeah,
that is what called out,
yeah,
and in tandem to other things I was doing, it became a thing for
yeah,
me, and that
yeah,
became what I am uniquely giving out to the world in my service. So I feel similarly was your experience, and similarly would be the experience of those who decide to
yeah,
join your course as well.
absolutely.
That they may
Yeah,
not do it the same way that
yeah,
you are teaching it. You will
yeah,
take an aspect of Akashic, because Akash can be used for any information. Literally all
anything and
information
everything.
of
Yeah,
all lifetimes exists in the Akashic space, right?
yeah,
Now, once you do something like this, like when I went for my astro course again, I had the thought process that I'm probably going to start reading charts one on one,
yeah,
because I do one on one readings otherwise.
yeah,
But that's not what happened.
yeah,
And initially, I will not lie, I was disappointed that why am I not, like, it would confuse me. Like when I
yeah,
even would do the charts, I'm like, this is not coming
yeah,
only naturally to me. Like I don't want to do this, right?
yeah,
So it takes that level of releasing and surrendering, and then allowing that okay, there is a reason why this modality is calling so strongly.
yeah,
Release expectations, what you thought you need to get out of
yeah,
this, and that is when the magic starts to unfold. So I
right.
feel like that is something I would love to tell everyone, not just for your course, but for your journey. If you are on a spiritual awakening journey, then this is how it's going to be. Things we
Yeah,
actually do not know how life in 5D looks, because the first time in humanity we are all ascending together to reach there, right? So the
yeah,
path
yeah,
is not really known. We
yeah,
can only see one step. Once we take the step, the next step unfolds for us, right? So if you have a
absolutely.
strong intuition, you should trust your intuition and go for it, and surrender to why you're being called to do certain things.
Right. Yeah, I would also like to add something. Also, trust your body and your intuition. So,
Yeah.
I had learned Gene Keys a couple of years ago, right? Again, I was the only Gene Keys mentor in India. And, I did not feel called to do Gene Keys readings, but I did have like an extensive program of healing the shadows via Gene Keys. And, ever since I joined the MSI course last year, that the Gene Keys course started depleting my energy little by little. So I even stopped it for a couple of months and I again started in this January, and I started as a group program in January, right? And what I realized was it's not resonating with me anymore. Right. And in March, when I was doing the Gene Keys program, I actually got a very strong call that it's time to stop doing it. Like they literally told me, like, your contract with Gene Keys is done. You do not need to do it it anymore. After I stopped doing that, I literally had a massive high in my business the next month. So in April or May, one was one of my highest months in my business.
Wow.
And what I realized was sometimes we often hold on to this baggage. I have done this. How can I stop doing this? But I have, like, I was known for gene keys. I still get people asking me for gene keys, right? But I know it does not resonate with me or my energy anymore.
Yeah.
And it's also about realizing that it's okay to evolve, even to the point where you're not doing things that you did even a few months ago, because that's the whole, right now we are in this whole collective journey of evolving so fast that literally there are timeline shifts, not anymore on month, not anymore on portals, like literally week on week there are timeline shifts happening, right? And this timeline shift is not happening just for individuals, it's happening on a massive collective level. Like if we just see the solar flares, if we just see like what the energy looks like in different places, like politics as well, we can see the effect of these, the planets. We can see the effect of timeline shifts, and we have to realize we're not. You may believe that just because the calendar days are moving from, what day are we on, 26, 27, 28, that we are literally moving like pages of a book, but the book has like been flown into space and now it's just kind of floating around into nothingness. Like we are not really living the life that we think we are. It's really gone beyond what we imagine it to be.
Yeah, I agree, because I feel like, and this is something I read a lot in Pleiadian teachings,
Yeah.
which is when you start to elevate at a higher frequency, your experience of experiencing time shifts, right?
Right.
Because you start to understand that time is not linear actually.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No problem.
Basically exactly what you said, right? That overnight, when people talk about quantum shifts, quantum jumps, collapsing time, this is what we mean. That when you actually elevate yourself, there are higher levels of information that opens up.
Right.
And you start receiving it really, really fast. So it is not about the number of days that it will take you to do a certain thing, but how much can you open your consciousness, your awareness to vibrate higher. That is when you can actually start to embody more and more of it in your life.
And how much are you willing to let in? Because I know a lot of people also fear letting in. Like someone commented a little earlier that I'm scared to expose my energy to others. And there's this whole fear of energy being sucked out of you, right? There's this whole fear of somebody's going to take my energy and somebody's going to take my money and somebody's going to take my wisdom and do something with it. We have to realize that we do not freaking control anything. We may think that, yeah, we are super in control and we are like these hyperactive robots, but we really do not have control, right? And what you base your reality to be, that's what it will become. Like a lot of people, when I was doing my Akashic Record course for the first time, I got a lot of people asking me that, I'm really scared to do Akashic Records because, what if someone's karma becomes mine? What if I come across a negative entity?
Yeah.
And I have been doing Akashic readings for 2 years now. I have not had even one of these experiences because that's not even a possibility for me. And that's why we go to 5D Akashic Records, where you are literally in the quantum space.
Yeah.
You are not connecting to the person in today's world, you're connecting to the higher self of the person. And when the higher self of the person connects with you, you are literally just dropping all those shadows and fears on 3D level.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also to add, I feel like when you decide to do a course in the fifth dimension that holds that kind of a frequency, the other people also who you are fearing are vibrating at that level.
Yeah.
There is an alignment in these things that happen. So
Yeah.
you will
Yeah.
understand. I think for me, there was when I started my journey and I started this service, there was that fear, that imposter syndrome that comes in, that, oh, what if the person sitting across doesn't believe in all this? What if they challenge me too much? But once I started trusting my own guidance and intuition, that literally never happened. Till today, I've never had a person come for a reading who didn't resonate. Simply because of my experiences and my absolute faith and surrender in the process.
Yeah.
That is the frequency of people I attract now, right? And if you are constantly holding, you'll see the people who get nazar, the people who have these fears, they are the ones who are constantly fearing everything in their life.
Yeah.
So you are attracting those those energies, right? So the whole
Absolutely.
idea of these codes, what we have been speaking about, exposing yourself or being in the company of people who are on this path, who are trying to vibrate at the same level or at higher level than you, plays a very important role, because they actually
Absolutely.
are literally like people who have the power to lift you up with them, right?
Yeah.
You start
Yeah.
to match your frequency with them. That is actually the most effective. That is also a reason why ascended masters, angels, all these higher light beings, same concept, right? The more we connect with them, the higher we are automatically raised up. It's simply about who are you choosing to spend or learn your time with.
Yeah, it's like the five people you spend your time with, that's who
Exactly.
you become, right? And
Exactly.
you where you put yourself in the rooms you put yourself, that's the frequency, that's the energy you're going into. Like it's basic, like I think science. Yeah, if my husband is here, he'll say you don't know science. So
No, it's true.
that's why let's say science, yeah. So let's just say that.
Yeah, yeah. I think science is catching up now to where spirituality reached ages ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, I agree, and I think, so I feel like we've tried to. If anyone has any questions on
Yeah.
any of these topics, you can please feel free to, put in your questions. We would love to talk about these concepts, especially because I think these are two, three things which you can only kind of explain through your experiences, through your stories of clients, because these are again experiences, and talking is not always enough. Like
Yeah.
when we talk like this, also there is an energy exchange that goes on, and
Yeah.
our entire intention was also to invoke this remembrance
Yeah.
in the people who are ready to receive, because I feel Sachi,
Absolutely.
me, and a group of souls, we would
Yeah.
love to just kind of help to call in more and more of this for the collective. And we also plan to do a lot of events in the
Yeah.
future to help people. That's why we love these activations where you get to experience these higher energies, and they unlock those things, which take you on that journey a lot faster than you could have on your own, right? So how do you know your soul purpose? So if I were to answer that question, literally the life you are living, at all levels you are living your purpose, right? So to give you again my example, for me it's really important to bring love. Like I love to hold the frequency of love and joy for people. So when I was not on a spiritual journey, I had a brand called Periwinkle, I had a brand called Clever Fox, and I would create art, create decor, and the most often feedback I would receive is it's lifted up the place. It's made me happy today, right? And as I vibrated my own awareness and consciousness, it's come to doing more of sacred art, come to doing more of these readings, which brings in the same frequency but to a higher level. So for me, I always say that your soul purpose is a way of being, is you're living every aspect of your life is actually living out your purpose. It's not your career or your job only. Even your relationships, what energy are you bringing in? What frequency are you bringing in all of your life also defines your soul purpose, I feel. So Sachi, if you want to add something to that.
Right. So I'm not getting any comments, so I'll just add. So I feel Akashic records, yeah, but also purpose is a very layered subject,
Yeah.
right? It's not like, okay, this is my purpose, this is the destination where I want to go. The more you walk along the path, the more of your purpose gets revealed.
Yeah.
And it's also about, really, it's not about like the career or the job, it's more about certain things you're here to bring in this lifetime, certain gifts you're here to share, and you can share them through, like Hira said, any means, right? It does not have to be fixed to one thing only.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think I've seen, okay, there's another, the fear that I won't make enough money if I follow my heart. Like I'm literally scared to even, I think this is something that Sachi really specializes in,
Yeah,
Sachi.
I love this topic. So, yeah, I mean, I have literally been brought up with that same fear, and I have literally been brought up and really released that fear. Still work in progress, I believe, but I feel like, again, this is not one single answer, because I feel like that fear is obviously coming from somewhere. It could be coming from, your childhood, it could be coming from your past life, it could be coming from your multidimensional life. I think that what you need to focus on is giving yourself proof, right? Apart from like the healings and whatever you want to do, I think it's giving yourself proof. I can do this. Hey, look, I did this, so I can do this. Hey, look, I did that, so I can do this. I feel like that proof really helped me apart from everything else that I did. And I feel like, you can connect with me or any one of us you feel called to be honest, who will help you create something that is in alignment with you, because this will be a very generic answer and will be different for different people, right? But I feel like, I think giving proof was one of the biggest tools that I tuned into, because I feel like I was like, okay, if I can do this, then why not this? Also, not just me, right? Looking at people around me, if they can do this, then why can't I do this? If they have done this in like 4 years of their journey, of course I can do this, right? So it's about like really living a very heart led approach.
Absolutely. I think you said it all. I completely agree with what Sachi says. It's been the same for me. Everything I've been able to overcome has literally been that ability to take a small step, make my body, like on all levels of your being, make it completely believe. Every
Yeah.
cell of your being should be able to believe that no, this will not happen. See, I proved to you
Yeah.
that this result came in, and that is how you increase your capacity to start receiving more.
Right. And I also feel like, I think very, very coincidentally, both Hiral and I recently dived into our version of somatics,
Yeah.
right? And I feel like that's the part that we are unfolding right now, because I feel like, astral work and clearings and all are great, but the body also holds on to it, and I feel like clearing that in the body is also going to be important. So expanding the nervous system is something you should definitely look at in any way that works for you.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. So yeah, I feel like if any last questions are there, please drop it in.
Yeah.
And from me, I feel like I've been able to share everything that was on my mind to come here
Yeah.
and speak about Sachi. If there's anything you want to add before we close?
No, I think pretty much everything has been shared. I think we will also kind of do these often. Like, don't know if we'll do it together or just on
Yeah.
our solo trip. I feel like, I think more the people kind of are ready for this information, I think that's why we are also here. So I feel like that's going to happen very naturally
Yeah.
often. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think in closing, all I want to say also again is that if you are being like, that is the fifth dimensional way of being, is that your own intuition is your guidance system, it's your compass, and try and keep your power inside of you. And like Sachi said, that the tangible results will always follow after you fix the intangible. This is going to be a shift that comes inside out,
Yeah.
right? So once you're able to release the lower energies, which are linking you to the 3D, once you're able to let go of that old baggage, is when you will be able to quantum shift, because the frequencies, the dimensions are protected by frequency barriers, right? So you have to match your frequency to be able to enter a higher dimension. And the best way to do it is spend more and more time with people who are equally working hard on themselves, spend more and more time investing in your own inner work, and the tangible results will follow. There is no other way. That is literally the law of the universe. So that's what I would love to just share in closing. And yeah,
Okay.
so thank you everyone for just
Thank you.
being
Thank
here.
you. Yeah,
And
thanks a lot, everyone. And yeah, let me just pull a card as we
oh, I
close
would love
this.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The light codes.
Oh wow, just what we were speaking
Yeah.
about, light codes. I love how this always happens.
So yeah, the great teacher awakening, divine magic, light initiation. So awesome. Yeah, connect with Hiral, connect with me, um, connect with us, to clarify any of our services, to connect with us, to just share your experiences. There's a WhatsApp group that is for experiences like this. Join that, and yeah, we will see you soon.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Sachi.
Awesome.
Thank you
Bye.
everyone
Thank
for
you,
being
Hiral.
here.
Bye.
Bye.